Welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Join us now is Shelley Sweeney with the Kansas Office of Veteran Services, along with Steve Williams, a Vietnam Purple Heart veteran. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you guys on the show this morning. And we're talking about Purple Heart Day, which is coming up soon. So to begin, just what is the origin of the Purple Heart?
The Purple Heart was an award, and it was developed by George Washington for the Continental Army in 1782, and it wasn't called the Purple Heart, but it was shaped like a Purple Heart. It was made of cloth. It was called the Badge of Merit, and only 3 were issued then, but it's evolved into, and it was really for merit, it's evolved into a different denotation of combat wound, combat killed in action, and a Purple Heart really means that a veteran was in the middle of the fight, and it has a lot of different representation than it did to start with. That's what it's evolved into.
Okay, and how many have been, how many Purple Hearts have been awarded over the years?
Since 1782, 1.8 million.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Across the country.
Yes, so now we have Purple Heart Day. What exactly is Purple Heart Day commemorating?
It's August 7th, and it's a national commemoration. It's been in place for maybe 10 or 11 years at that level. And what it commemorates is really recognizing the veterans and families, the Purple Heart families, folks who have been wounded in combat or killed in combat. It's just to bring awareness to the country and to the nation that, you know, war, the impacts of war on families and veterans.
Of course. Yeah. And now, Steve, a Purple Heart veteran in Vietnam, share a little bit about your story and your Purple Heart medal.
Okay. Well, I was an infantryman in Vietnam and evolved into being a point man. So a platoon of 30 men moving through the jungle, the guy in front was the point man. And I did that for several months. Anyway, we were on a hilltop, and we got resupplied. The next morning we go down the hill and there was no trail. It was elephant grass, which is like 12 feet tall. So I was making the trail, and at the base of the elephant grass they had punji sticks, and you couldn't see them because they're the same color as the grass. Anyway, on the way down, as I'm wearing my backpack and trying to catch myself going down, I took a step and something sharp hit my leg and I couldn't stop. So as I finished my step, I had a punji stick go into my leg and come out the other side. So I have 2 scars where it went completely through. And that was the way I got a Purple Heart. The nice thing is I have all my parts. But, you know, that was the way the enemy could harass us. They poisoned the tips of the punji sticks, and in a way to take you out of the battle, in a sense. And so
That is very incredible. I'm very glad that you got with just a couple of scars. That is very fortunate. And
I might say that the Purple Heart is probably, I think, one of the most beautiful medals you can get, and nobody wants it. Because you have to bleed to get it.
Yes, I would definitely agree with you on that one. And you brought a purple medal, didn't you? Please, bring this out.
I can show that to you.
Okay.
And
Carter, can we get a close-up on there?
Yeah, there we go. And I actually didn't get this coming out of Vietnam. It was years later that I approached Bob Dole, and he did research, had to see my DD-214, which I had it on my orders. And after his research, he sent it to me in the mail. And they also, on the back, they emboss your name on the back.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know that you can see that, but anyway, it's really beautiful and pretty, but that's it.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And share a little bit about your time in Vietnam now, because I see we also have a book here. You've written about your experience?
Yeah. Actually, my wife, for 50 years, wanted me to write a book, and she loves to write, and I don't. And then my son called years later and saying, "Dad, I want your stories for my kids." And I'm realizing my dad was a World War II vet. His stories are gone, and that's me if I don't do something. So we finally knuckled down, and with her help, we knocked out this book, and it's about my time being in the 101st Airborne and infantry. So I spent almost my whole year in the jungle. We would be out for a month. We'd come in for 3 days, stand down to try to rest and shower, and then we'd go back out for a month. And so that was my life for a year.
Wow. I'm very excited to check out this book because I agree with your wife and your kids that the stories really should be told. And it's great we're doing programs like Veteran Salutes and, and having you guys here on the show to share those stories because, you know, like you said, with your dad in the World War II, it's just, you know, I think we missed out on what was happening back then. It's incredible. And it's great that you're able to share what's been happening. And with all the veterans across the area, how is the KOVS been able to help Purple Heart veterans as well?
Well, the Kansas Office of Veteran Services has veteran service reps across the state, and we can, of course, assist any veteran, including Purple Heart veterans or surviving spouses. So if there's any kind of a benefit that a veteran or spouse is interested in finding out about, I urge you to go to our website, call our number, and we can get you hooked up with someone that can assist you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And of course, we have Purple Heart Day coming up soon, but there's some other events coming up as well in the area. What else is happening? Well,
you can find any of the events that our reps will be at or that we'll be at kovs.ks.gov, but there is a big one, and it is also a commemoration. It's Gold Star Family Remembrance Day, and that's a national event. Ours is going to be held on the 25th of September on the State House grounds on the Veterans Walk by the Gold Star Family Memorial, and the public is certainly welcome to attend that.
Of course. And so we've been talking about the Purple Hearts. Refresh our viewers about the Gold
Star families are families who have lost a veteran in combat. And so they could well be a Purple Heart veteran who has died in combat. But that's a way to remember and connect the families because that's something that they have in common, and it's just something that they'll always remember, and we should remember them too and honor them. Yes.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing to help out the veterans in the community, and thank you for your service as well. And I appreciate the book that you're reading to help share some of these stories.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, you'll have to read the book to find out whether or not I survived.
No spoilers. I won't skip to the end. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Dane.